Welcome back, good day viewers. My name is Akiniroke, and this is going to be the last week of this HTML training. And what we're going to be talking about now is one of the most important parts of designing HTML is HTML forms. HTML forms. Sometimes you might want to, send information to the server, or you want the administrator might want to collect your details through contact form, or you might want to send out a kind of registration form to server, or a company might want to collect your details, or you might want to pay for e-payment. You might want to do an e-payment on the server. I mean on your HTML, I mean on your page, on your web page. What you need to do is to create a form. The form will help the HTML to collect all your details and send it to the server. And how do you do this? You do this by putting an HTML form into your page. And within the HTML forms, there are some things that you need to take note of. HTML forms. What you need to take off, you might need to take off your text boxes, form, text box control. You might need to take care of your checkbox, your radio box control, your select box control, your file upload. That's when you want to upload your image or you want to attach image. And your submit form, your submit button or clickable button, your hyperlink. Those are the things you can use to send information to the backend, to the server. Now, if you want to use the text input control, let's talk about text input control. That comes the tag you need to use, because all these things have a tag, are all attached to a tag and to different tags. Tag you need to use must start with input, name as an attribute. You put the name there, and then if it has a default value, you just put the value there. But if it doesn't have any value, just say just write that like this, and you close it. This will take care of your input control tag. Once you put this in the form, in the HTML form, it says it. But before you do this, you must be able to write. You must write form, the type of posts you want to do. We have two type of posts. Is either we have a get post, or let me write it together, or a post. Okay, so I would like to correct something. This should be method. Okay, let me write this. When you are sending a form to the back end, there are two things you need to note. The form carries two attributes. You write the form, it carries attribute A, which is the action. Where do you want to send this information to? Contains where you want to send the information to. That's like your URI or URL that you're sending it to. And it also contains the value, the method in which you want to use to send it, which can either be get or post. You open it up and you close it. Form RMU FORM. Okay, so inside this form tag, that is where you put all this. It comes inside the form tag. The type of method you are using to send can either be get or a post. When you are using a get method, when you look at HTML, any HTML, let me use this as an example. Can you see this? Obviously, this is a post method because it's not listing all the paths in which I'm taking, or this website is taking, to send information to the backend. Like this is a form. This is sitting in a form because I'm sending this to the back end. So I have to create a form I have to create a form for this. Now, if I type, okay, this is still a get. This is a get. This is a post. This is a post. This is a post method. Practically, post method is being used here. Post method helps you to hide information that you are sending. But whenever you see the URI, the URL, this is the URL, the address that is so long that contains all the data that's been sent. That is a get method. Sometimes this is not very, very secure, and that's why people use post so that they can hide the information they are sending to the back end. So that's the difference between the get and the post method that you are using to send to the back end. Mostly people recommend that you use post, but sometimes you might need to use get as a method. Where are you sending it to? Where you are sending it to is your URL, the address that you are sending the information to. Now, after you have written this to, then if you have opened the form tag and you have closed the form tag, you can now start putting all this information. All these tags, because all these tags sit inside this form tag. Another thing the form tag must have that is very important after this is you must have a submit. Input type is equal to submit. Value is equals to enter button or enter. You put it and you close it. It comes, these three, the form open tag, the form close tag, and the input submit button inside it, they are very important. Then you can decide to Okay, what you want to do, you might decide to put this inside the input. You put it inside, you put another one inside. Maybe the value here is name. Your label is another important part, because you can put the label there. But before you put all this, you must have opened an HTML table Okay, let me clean up, and so that we can actually understand what we're talking about very well. Because it's assumed that we've already started writing a form that we want to use to send uh, message to the back end. So we must be able to understand the concept behind it. Okay. Um, Remember, we have HTML, edge. We close the edge. Body. We close the body. Then we close the HTML. This is all closed. HTML. Then we'll put the table here. Width. Width is one of the attributes of the table. 400. That means 400 pixels. That means the width of the computer in which you want it to take. Then you close the table. Inside the table, remember, you have a TR, which is table row. Table data. Then you put your label, username. You close the table data. Then the username, that means you want, let's say this is username. You want to have it like this, and you want to have sorry, need to reduce this. Okay, close this up. Then password. You have this. Then you have your button. Enter. This is a form. Login details. So that's what we're designing here. So this is the username, because they are still on the same row. This is a row. This is another row. This is another row. So we have 3 rows here: row 1, row 2, and row 3. So our table is going inside our table. You have TR, close the TR. You have another TR, you close the TR. This shows the 3 rows that we have: table row, table row, table row. Then inside this table row, you have another TD. You now have input, type, um, input. The type of this input is going to be text. That means you want to put in text in here, and you can now give it a name that is going to be same. I mean, the name is going to, that we are going to use to call it at the back end, because we are posting this to the back end. Um, let's see, user. Then you close it here. Please remember that before you write this, you must have put form here. Sorry, you must have put the form here. Form action, where you are sending it to. Let me clean this up. Action, the particular action script, or the script, or the we are going to be talking about the scripts later on, because this is a lot detail. This is more programming. Um, but just know that you are sending to URL here. Then the action and the method. Don't get it confused. It's very simple. Let's say we are using a post method here. So, and you have to close it also here. You have to close the form here. Okay. So we have this input type, which is text, and then the name is user. That takes care of this first part. The second part also is going to be just a TD password colon close TD, then TD input type password name pass. You close the input tag. This is the closing part of it. What we have done, we have just designed this two. Now, the enter button here, which the action that the user is going to be pressing is here. TD inside this TR, input tag, type of input is equals to submit. That means you want to make it a submit button. Then the name is equals to enter. Then you close it. That's the name. Then you close your TD, because it starts here, you must close it here. So with this, we have just designed this particular form. By the time we click on this enter, it will take us to this location of URL, and this is just all about the form. If you go to our software training academy, which is also online, you get to know about this URL, but we're still coming up with that. So this is all about the HTML form. But remember, we have other, instead of having this is just a particular form that we've just designed here. You could also have a radio button. Radio button means that you are meant to select a button. Let's say a type of school, or maybe you want to select a type of food, beans. What did you take this morning? Beans, rice, rice. So if you select this, you won't select this. If you select this, you won't select this. And it also comes with the way um, it's also like this. The form, instead of having an input here, we make it turns out to be a radio. We turn this one also to radio button. We turn this also to radio button. We change all this, then the type way sorry, that's not right. That's not right. This is supposed to be input. Supposed to be input and input, but the type will be radio now. This will be radio button. All right. I will want you to read up the HTML, uh, the booklet on the HTML on the site. I'm going to be showing you the booklet so that you can get the feel of all the forms. Sorry, this is not okay. All the forms. Please read up this booklet. Download it and read it up under form. It will tell you all the kind of forms that you have and then how you can write it. Because a lot of questions are going to be coming up on it, and I can decide to tell you that you should write, to give us a project, to send a project to me that actually shows how to write a form. So just read up, but this is the whole concept around it. What you have here is the concept around it. All right, thank you. Please ensure you do your assignments. They're going to be simple, but just make sure you do your assignment. We just want to know the concept, whether you're actually understanding the concept, the process is clear to you. All right, thank you.